The TripSaver II cutout-mounted recloser operates at high voltage. Failure to observe these precautions will result in serious personal injury or death. Some of these precautions may differ from your company's operating procedures and rules. Where a discrepancy exists, follow your company's operating procedures and rules. This video is intended to be used in conjunction with the written instruction sheet included with your product. The TripSaver II is a single-phase cutout-mounted recloser used to eliminate unnecessary permanent outages. S&C's TripSaver II Service Center configuration software allows owners to configure the TripSaver II recloser from a computer, set TCC curves, customize the LCD screens, control communication settings, set the local manual open parameters, and look at snapshots. The configuration kit comes with an AC adapter, power outlet plug adapters, a power module, extension cord, a USB transceiver, labels, and a carrying case. The software is available to download only to customers who have purchased the configuration kit. The latest release is posted on the S&C Automation Customer Support portal. See our video on downloading and installing software through the customer portal. That video uses Untitled software as an example, but the same principles apply to the TripSaver II recloser's software. After installing, we're now ready to open the software. There's a desktop icon with the S&C logo and SCC followed by your version number, or you can go through the Start menu. It's important that you're using version 1.6 or higher, as that release has the latest features. You'll be greeted by this warning screen. Read and understand the screen, and click the green button to continue. Here's the user interface. You can see how it's organized with a menu bar across the top, a menu tree down the left side, and the main body taking up the rest of the screen. The menu bar across the top is the Quick Access toolbar. These are frequently used commands like opening snapshot files, loading set points, or connecting to a TripSaver II recloser, so you don't have to dig through menus to do the most basic tasks. The tree on the left highlights the current screen and grays out the rest. You can see the main body page is content-aware, so it'll change depending on what tab you choose on the left. This is where you configure the device. If you open the software without connecting a TripSaver II recloser, it'll open in standalone mode, which is offline. You can use standalone mode to set parameters that you save to a setpoint file and can later upload to a TripSaver II recloser. This mode can also be used to review previously downloaded snapshots, which contain the information about the TripSaver II recloser at the time the snapshot was downloaded, including battery charge, serial numbers, and events. When you first start SCC in standalone mode, it'll have these 5 setting screens available: TCC curve settings, sectionalizing settings, LCD screen settings, communication settings, and local manual open. You'll have additional screens available when you connect to TripSaver II recloser or if you open a setpoint file. The software provides wireless communication to the TripSaver II recloser using the USB transceiver. To install the transceiver, simply plug it into your computer's USB port. The TripSaver II recloser needs to be powered using the AC adapter and power module or the cordless power module, which is available separately. It's held in place magnetically. To make sure the TripSaver II recloser is powered, rotate the Mode Selector lever and observe the LCD screen. If the screen scrolls, it indicates the unit is successfully powered. We can now connect the TripSaver II recloser. Click on Connection, Connect to Device. You can also use this icon in the Quick Access toolbar. If you have trouble connecting, move the unit closer to the USB transceiver. Optimal position is between 1 and 4 inches away and at a 45-degree angle. This Transceiver ID Request dialog box will open. The transceiver ID is unique to each TripSaver II recloser. It's a 32-digit string, but you'll need to only enter the last 16 digits. There are 3 places to find this code: by scanning the QR code embedded on the lower housing of the TripSaver II recloser. You can also find the ID by rotating the Mode Selector level on the TripSaver II recloser. the LCD screens will start to scroll, you'll come to transceiver ID. The third way to find the code is to look on the back side of the yellow Do Not Drop Handle with Care tag attached to each unit when it leaves S&C. Enter this ID code and the TripSaver II recloser will connect to the computer. Enter the last 16 digits in the form. You can see the drop-down as well. It'll save the last 16 IDs you've entered for quicker access. Click OK and the TripSaver II recloser will connect. If you have any problems connecting at this point, make sure you're using software version 1.6 or higher and that the USB transceiver is at least 1.6 as well. An older version of the USB transceiver will not work. If you need an updated USB transceiver, use the S&C customer portal to start a support case. We have a video about support cases here. Now that the TripSaver II recloser is connected, the software will change from standalone mode to connected mode. You can see that we now have 4 new screens on the left: Status, Event Logs, Functional Test, and RNR Reset. At the bottom of the screen, you'll find additional information about your TripSaver II recloser. Let's go through all of the screens in the menu tree for an overview. The Status screen is only available in connected mode or when a snapshot file is open. This is a view-only screen and presents status information, a summary of TCC curve settings, and general device information. This is a good place for a quick look at settings on the TripSaver II recloser. This video is more of a general overview, but the written instructions go through each and every category on the page. The TCC, or Time Current Characteristic Curve Settings screen, is where you program the coordination settings. There's no limit to how you can set your TripSaver II recloser. The initial trip is always required. From there you can add more tests, up to 4. You can also copy and paste tests so you're not starting from scratch each time. You can see there is a lot of information you can play with here in order to set each TripSaver II recloser exactly how you want it. Again, the written instructions go into great detail about all of these different categories. You should be very familiar with the written instructions and TCC curves before attempting to program the TripSaver II recloser. There are also default curves that are programmed into every standard TripSaver II recloser before it leaves the factory. This is the starting point of the configuration process, and those are the settings you see here. Once you program the TripSaver II recloser, you can validate the settings to make sure there are no errors. There's a Validate button in the Quick Access toolbar along the top. If you need to upload these settings to multiple TripSaver II reclosers, you can save the settings as a setpoint file. That will allow you to connect a new TripSaver II recloser with the same firmware version and upload your settings without having to go through all the programming again. In the Quick Access toolbar, you'll find these buttons for Open, Close, and Save snapshots. Setpoints can also be programmed in standalone mode without a TripSaver II recloser. The TripSaver II recloser features a sectionalizing function for both the 4Ka and 6.3 Ka rated models. When enabled, a TripSaver II recloser will start its secondary protection function, the sectionalizing function, over a user-specified range of fault currents when the source side circuit breaker or recloser, for whatever reason, trips faster than the TripSaver II recloser's TCC overcurrent protection. It will count the number of operations of the source side circuit breaker or recloser and will drop open after a user-specified number of counts. The LCD screen settings screen allows users to customize the LCD screen on the TripSaver II recloser. You can change the language settings, what is displayed as the normal or first screen, how many times the screens will repeat before staying on the normal screen, how long each screen is shown before moving to the next, and what screen is displayed when the device is dropped open. Below, you can see the available screens on the left and which screens will be displayed on the right. It's easy to change the order of the screens using these arrows, or to remove or add screens. Using these arrows, it's easy to change the order of the screens or to remove or add screens. The Communications tab is for configuring 2 settings related to how the TripSaver II recloser's remote and local communications work. This section is only available when a TripSaver II recloser with the extended open interval option is connected, or if a snapshot file saved from a TripSaver II recloser with that option is open. Communications mode can be set to either non-gateway mode or gateway mode. See the written instructions for information on gateway versus non-gateway mode. The TripSaver II cutout-mounted recloser with firmware version 1.6 or later can be opened manually without any load break tools by using the Local Manual Open, or LMO, feature. The feature provides an operation sequence that commands the TripSaver II device to open the vacuum interrupter contacts and drop open. The device must be powered for the feature to work, or a line worker could use a cordless power module to temporarily power up the device when the load current is low. This yellow load break label is included in the shipping container. It is intended to be used to indicate that Local Manual Open has been enabled on the device. Two parameters control how LMO functions: the operations count, which is the number of times the lever needs to be operated, and an operations timeout window, which is the amount of time in seconds in which you must complete the operations. By default, the feature is disabled and must be enabled and have the value set while configuring the device. When the LMO feature is enabled, a new LCD screen titled LMO will be automatically displayed as the first scrolling screen, with the operations count on the left and the time window shown on the right. Confirm the values with your utility. In this example, we're using an operations count of 6 and a time window of 40 seconds. Operate the mode selector lever 6 times in a 40-second window to trigger the LMO command. Every single movement of the lever counts as one operation. As soon as the 6 operations are complete, the TripSaver II recloser will start a time delay sequence. For the next 10 seconds, LMO cancel will appear on the LCD screen. The 10-second window is fixed. Any operation of the mode selector lever during this time will cancel the LMO command, and LMO canceled will appear on the screen. If the command is not canceled within 10 seconds, a walk away message will then be displayed. The walk away window is fixed at 8 seconds and gives users time to move away from the device. During the walk away period, the operator can no longer cancel the LMO operation. After 8 seconds, the device will break the load current, drop open, and reset. The Event Log screen provides 8 different historical counts, including the number of interrupter operations and device drop opens of the connected TripSaver II recloser and the duration and current level of the last 25 trip events. The firmware uses separate memory to store full event logs for engineering use, so if you need to analyze an event more than 25 trips past, it is possible. If you open a support case with S&C, you may be asked to forward this event log. It can be obtained by saving a snapshot file. As you can see, there's a lot of information in these event logs. If you click the Clear All Events button, it will erase these last 25 events from this screen, but they are still saved in the full event log in the snapshot file. The functional test screen monitors the device status of the connected TripSaver II recloser. You can simulate a temporary or permanent fault from this screen. Please note that in order for these tests to work, the TripSaver II recloser must either be installed in a current production S&C type XS fuse cutout mounting with sufficient clearance to drop open, or be placed horizontally on a flat surface with the trunnion pointing up. If the TripSaver II recloser is on its side, the tests will not work properly and could lead to a device lockout. TripSaver II reclosers with the extended open interval -O option or with integrated communications can communicate with the TripSaver II recloser's communication gateway, and the user can remotely set the device to remote non-reclose R-NR operational mode and back to auto mode when the mode selector lever is in the up position. To avoid a situation where the TripSaver II recloser is permanently stuck in the R-NR mode when remote communications are not available, the user can set the operational mode back to the auto setting locally by using the R-NR reset feature when a TripSaver II recloser is connected to the S&C TripSaver II Service Center configuration software. We hope you have found this video informative. If you have any questions, please visit our website at snc.com.